The folks, hello, hello, hello. How's everyone doing? Welcome, welcome. Ah, another week, another week. I love it. I actually like this random day going live stuff. It's pretty fun. Less stress. It's less what is it? Less stress. Less feeling like yo, I have to stick to the schedule. But at the same time, it probably just kills my viewership. So that's whatever. But yeah, welcome in, welcome in. As you guys know, I am a bit tired because I've been studying all day. So yeah, I just want to take some time off, take a little hangout, you know. Last week I was kind of out of it in the sense that something, I don't know what was wrong with me. Maybe it was because my previous rotation kind of fucked me up physically, but I was having like really bad pain and I had to like leave. I got really tired, had really bad pain, I just had to leave. Like it was too much. So if I seem very down that stream, it's kind of my bad. I mean, there was nothing happening, so I went live, but you know, things happen, right? So I did want to talk about a few things today. There's nothing much going on in my life personally. Probably nothing much going on for the next few weeks other than me studying, and that's pretty much it. So yeah, I'm probably just gonna spend the time yapping about some tech, talking about some cool stuff that I found, maybe playing some games. I don't know. We'll see. Depends on what happens during the night. That's what I always do. But yeah, hopefully everyone is enjoying. Hello, hello. Min Winterland? Hola, hola. Hola, senor, senora, whatever. I don't understand much Spanish, I apologize. But yeah. Oh, speaking of Spanish. Okay, so I guess I can start with this. So, I guess, you know, one thing I like to say to stream is that I'm a medical student, so I do a lot of stuff in the hospital. The thing of hospitals is when it comes to, you see a lot of Spanish-speaking population, especially nowadays. Like in the hospitals, there's no issue there, but I swear I've had to use the interpreter so many times in a hospital. If you know Spanish and you you go to medical school, you'll probably have a much easier time, honestly. It's really, really straightforward. There's a lot of ways to learn Spanish. There's classes and stuff. I personally, working, so working as in the medical field, yeah. So I'm a student. I've been a student for the past 3 years, and that's what I'm studying for right now. I'm studying for a bunch of exams, but yeah, so I've worked in the hospital over the past year, and basically interpreters are pretty cool. You go into the hospital and they have this like little tablet thing that they take around, and you just click the button on the tablet. It calls an interpreter. It's like on the video, and the interpreter converses with the patient, the provider converses with the interpreter. It's pretty straightforward stuff, but I personally found it pretty cool. I mean, when it came to something that's Spanish, it's just cool in that regard. But yeah, how you doing, man? Vinterland, how you doing? How you doing? Welcome, welcome. Hopefully you're having a good night so far. Night, morning, I don't know what time zones are, to be honest with you. Anyways, there's just a few quirks about medicine in general that I like looking into, but for now it's 22 p.m. Oh wow, wait, so you're 2 hours ahead of me. It's 9 more math, so that would be, oh no, sorry, that would be 10 for you. Fuck, military time is weird. I remember I went to Europe, like Germany one time, and they use military time there, and it's like, oh, that's a thing? It could be 22 o'clock? So yeah, right now it's 21 o'clock, right? Do you say 21 o'clock or 2100? I don't know. It seems like something that people would say, right? It seems pretty idiomatic for Americans, because we say it's 5 p.m. or 5 o'clock, 5:01, so 21:01, 22:01, you know? That's what I'd say, but yeah, 22 p.m., wow. Maybe 10 p.m. Yeah, 10 p.m. would be, that is 10 p.m., that's right. Oh man, I loved, when I was back in the day, when I saw military time, I loved it because the AM and PM could get really confusing at times. Especially, like, if you say it's 22 o'clock, wow, I know it's 10 p.m. at that point. And I don't know, I feel like it's an American thing. I feel like it's just an American thing to say, like, oh, it's 10 p.m., it's 5 p.m., it's 8 p.m., you know, or 8 a.m. It can get a little bit confusing because sometimes whenever I post my shorts and I schedule things to be posted, I sometimes click 10 p.m. instead of 10 a.m. and I'm like, uh-oh. It's my short posted in the wrong time. Yep. That is not good. So yeah, huge mistake there. But yeah, alright, anyways. So today's stream, like me putting 22, yeah, exactly, right? Exactly. Instead of out, it's so oh yeah, I guess you put the PM too, but it's still convenient, right? I find it more convenient. I mean, there's always those hot takes about how people are like, oh, these units are better than that unit, or this thing is better than that thing. Like, I don't fucking care. Use whatever works for you, man. I don't care. If I can convert it, we have the power of the internet at our fingertips. If I can convert it, that would be amazing, you know? It's just like, why? I don't understand why people care so much about like the Fahrenheit Celsius thing, or the I guess 10 p.m. etc. What about centimeter to inch, feet, or meter? Yeah, I mean, the thing that's interesting though with those measurements is that with the scientific community, everything's unified under the metric system, basically in SI unit. But in like stuff such as like the design community and things like that, people use inches and feet all the time. It's the same with programming, right? The stream is for software and development. I'm a hobbyist programmer for years, and everybody uses English to code. Even if you're from a different country, coding is still in English. So everyone learns the idioms on how to code. There's not many ways to... I mean, you can code in a different language, sure, but the majority of coding is done in English, and it's unified. I guess that's why people argue for it, of course, but in terms of like the centimeter to inch, that's already standardized in terms of the things that matter, which is such as science, but in America, when we talk about stuff like football fields, we talk about yards, right? I honestly feel like the foot, the yard, the whatever is all so arbitrary as well. Like, and to be fair, I do think length in general is arbitrary, because I don't know if it's just my brain, but it's hard to like conceptualize length. Oh, great, I got an ad. That's fun. But before the ad starts, it's hard to conceptualize length to me. Like, whenever I put my fingers apart, I'm like, okay, how far apart is this? You know what I'm saying? But yeah, when it comes to centimeter, inch, feet, meter, whatever. Talked about programming yesterday at a programming exam in uni. Oh, hell yeah. What was it about? What was it about? Again, I never took a computer science course. I'm a med student. I'm not a comp science student. So, I'm fully self-taught. But what did you do? What did you take? Web stuff, Python, data analysis, systems. I don't know. I mean, data structures is a class. Everybody's always told me about, like, data structures. You gotta take data structures to know programming and shit. I'm like, ugh. Yeah. Hey, Dong, what's up? What's up? When I was in uni, you used to write code on paper. Yeah, I think that's still happening. I know my friend who went to uni for comp sci, and he was still writing code on paper as well. It was just... Oh, I'm so sorry for your loss, my dude. I'm so sorry for your loss. I'm so sorry for your loss. Java, you gotta be careful. JavaScript. Oh, great, the ad break. Love that. I guess I'll pause until we can keep talking. Just chat. Okay, the way I do ads, just chat if you're there, because for some people, the ads don't work, and I can just yap to you guys with no problem, and it's great. I love it. Yeah. It's amazing. It's amazing to see, like, how many people have just gotten into programming nowadays. I mean, to be fair, the job prospects aren't as good. As I've heard, people are not necessarily able to get a job in the field, which is a bit tough. I'm very sorry. God. I mean, let me wait till the ad breaks over, but one thing I would love to know from people, especially in the programming field, maybe I'll do, like, a survey of my users and ask, like, yo, what job are you doing, and how the hell did you manage, and when did you get the job? Right, when did you get that job? Because if you got it in today's climate, you're pretty fucking cracked, apparently. I don't fucking know. Oh, man. The one thing I love, and the theme was oh, like O of N, O of 1, I see. In Java? The fuck? Why would Java be... I guess, to be fair, any language can illustrate, but Java would not be my first guess. What's even used... Sorry. I understand that 4 billion devices run Java, right? But what's Java even used for nowadays? That's what I want. What is Java even used for? You know? Like, outside of universities. I know it's like a university language. Everything? Okay, explain. What is... I know Java's used for Minecraft. And I know Java is used for some server apps. But, like, I know JavaScript is used for a lot of shit, but not Java. I don't know what is used with Java. All I know is that some corporate people I talk to, they work in it at times, but most of the time now it's usually Python or JavaScript. Anything enterprise, really? Okay. Let me look at. You know what? It's not that I don't doubt. It's not that I doubt you. Let me just look it up just to get a. Most of the time Java. Really? Okay. Let me just see. So what uses Java? I'm just gonna look up a quantity. Top 20 Java application in the real world. Here we go. Old robust system. That's fair. It's because it's so. That's also true. Yeah, it is portable. I mean, if you think about it, any like interpreted language is portable in its own way because you just need the runtime. Yeah, because the virtual machine. I mean, to be fair, Java did kind of pioneer that, right? Before you had to like compile everything. So that makes sense. Like C# can be run everywhere now through the .NET tool. JavaScript can be run everywhere thanks to Node. Then there's also Python, which can run pretty much anywhere too. So it's kind of gotten to the point where any interpreted language that requires some sort of interpreter, which is usually written in C++, Rust, whatever. Yeah, C++, Rust, something like that, is basically just ported to run on that system now. And I feel like the most used languages use that sort of paradigm because it can be run anywhere, like everyone is saying. But that is interesting. I didn't know Java is a big enterprise thing. I thought it was more so like Python nowadays, but maybe I'm probably mistaken. Yeah. All right, let me just switch over here. Oh, perfect. Oh god, VTube Studio, why do you suck? Okay. All right, so yeah, I just looked up like what the fuck is popular with Java, you know? And I'm not doubting you guys. Again, I'm not doubting you guys. I just want to see like some concrete examples to what the hell makes Java so good. Okay, sorry, let me just change my fucking music here. Okay, here we go. Python is more used in anything data related. Yeah, Python is used in that. Yeah, that I agree because I've used Python way too much. In fact, my most starred repo is Python based. All right, so what makes Java so indispensable in 2025? High demand across industries. And this is from Geeks for Geeks, by the way, so it's like, this is a big boy thing. Oh my god. Java developers remain in high demand due to the widespread adoption of enterprise systems, web apps, really? Web apps in Java? Maybe I've been looking at too much tech Twitter, because I have not seen a web app in Java, like, ever. I've seen web apps using JavaScript, but not Java. Emerging technologies like blockchain. Okay, blockchain Spring framework is very... I have heard of Spring, yes. I have heard of it, I've never seen it. Spring. Oh, yes, the season, of course, that's what I want. Okay, that article is garbage. Okay, fair. I was kind of reading the blockchain thing. Oh, wait a minute. The blockchain thing kind of seems a bit out of it. All right, Spring. What the fuck is Spring? So Spring makes Java simple. Microservices, cloud, web apps. Oh. Huh. So it's basically just a giant fucking framework for Java. That's pretty sick. Maybe I should learn Java. maybe like I've been like a big JavaScript Rust fan, whatever, but maybe Java would be something to learn if it's like a very old robust ecosystem that's just like, hey, you can pretty much do anything you want in here, but nobody uses us because like we're not modernized or some shit like that, you know? It's like the PHP thing where everybody's like, PHP is amazing, except it's also pretty fucking dated. So everyone just uses JavaScript now. And not choose Java? Okay. Why is that? I mean, yeah. I mean, the only reason I choose is because the ecosystem. That's pretty much it. The one language I really, really love, though, if we're doing like a language battle here, I love JavaScript for the ability to just work with anything. It's great. It's like you can prototype anything so quickly with JS. But the language I love the most is Swift. I don't know if you guys know about Swift. The Apple programming language. It's not really like, it didn't used to be Apple, but Apple just like took it over and started developing for it and using it in like iOS and stuff like that. Swift is a pretty neat language in the fact that it's very flexible and it's surprisingly pretty low level, right? Like it's a compiled language in the end, but it's surprisingly easy to write. The only thing holding Swift back is the fact that it's owned by Apple. So it only works well on Mac OS. They're working on bringing it to Linux, but it's total crap on Windows, and really nothing works with it. It's not like most other languages where you can't really do anything. But whenever I write code in Swift, it feels so intuitive that I'm just like, oh my god, this makes so much fucking sense. I don't know. Maybe it's just my bias, developing iOS apps. I've developed iOS apps for a couple of years. I haven't done so in a while. But whenever I open up a project in Xcode, and Xcode's a shitty IDE, it's terrible. But whenever I start writing code, it's so fucking simple. It's so nice. And that's because of Swift. That's pretty much it. But yeah, nevertheless. So, speaking of languages, you see, there's a certain language that everybody is driving themselves. And I've actually learned a good amount. I'm gonna pull up my iPad here, but I want you guys to guess what language it is. Hint, it's in the stream title. That's a little hint for you guys. Let me just open up my notebook here. Oh, man. Oh my god, I got all this extra crap open. I was getting absolutely destroyed in my fucking questions today. It was terrifying. Okay, so let me show you guys the language that I want to talk about. Oh, one thing that you should know about my streams that I'm never set up. What the fuck is my thing? Here we go. Machine language? No, not machine language. It is in the stream title. So if you all look at that. Assembly. Everybody loves assembly. Everything is assembly at the end of the day. I don't know why Java is still relevant. Who said it's because it's old? Did you say? You literally said it before. It's old. That's why Java is still relevant. Like, it's like how COBOL is still relevant. NASA uses it. So people need to know COBOL in order to work at NASA for those specific things. It's like JavaScript as well. Like, people would migrate to a different language if they could. But JavaScript is like the king of web. It has everything. So, JavaScript is technically becoming the new Java, because everybody fucking needs to know it. And if you look closer at JavaScript, you start to see React pop into play, right? So you got all of the web frame. So you got yourself React, you got yourself Vue, and etc., right? And that's where it really comes into play. Let me just try. Yes, people still choose Java as a new option. Yep, that makes sense. As a new option. And it's, again, it's because of enterprise. I think it's just because of enterprise creep, right? Because, hold on, sorry, I'm talking two things at once. There we go. All right. So, it's easier if I write it down. At least my personal theory as to why Java is still used. All right, so we got Java here. I'm going to attempt to draw the coffee cup. Again, I'm not an artist. Oh, shit, that's terrible. There we go. Java. How you guys like my coffee cup? All right. So the reason why Java is used, it's honestly because of the old guard of programming. And that's simply because everyone knows it. Everyone formally trained knows it. Right? When it comes to learning stuff like web technologies, Rust, or just like new languages like Rust, or new web technology in JavaScript, no one really knows that. It does make you more valuable, but again, companies are dinosaurs. They use old standards. Even though new ones are available, they'll still use the old one because it's part of the old guard. It's battle tested. If you deploy an app to prod as a business, you're making money off of it. You don't want it to start crashing on you with this newfangled JavaScript framework. It's like, oh my god, it's so beautiful, it's so cool. No, and also you're not going to find as many developers. So then you get to this everyone formally trained knows part. This means increased employee pool, right? So since you have an increased employee pool, you're able to just write everything in the language that everyone uses. That's my thought process on it, because it's very similar to medicine, where, you have all of these, you have a bunch of new guidelines coming out every year on how to treat a pulmonary embolism, or how to intubate someone, for God's sake. There's even new guidelines on how to suture, right? There used to be this technique that people still use, and I'm gonna get into that in a second. So let's say we have like our little suture scissors here. And forgive me for my crude drawing again. We have our little suture driver here. And you have the needle. So the needle is usually a thread, and then this little curved bit. So this is the needle. And it's very pointy. Like, it'll puncture you if you touch it the wrong... If you even look at it the wrong way, it'll puncture you. So what you used to do is you used to thread the needle through the skin. And, well, what you still do is you thread the needle through the skin. So this is like a little taper, the skin part, and you put the thread through here. Okay? Now, the problem is, you're gonna pull the thread through, and now you have this giant fucking needle hanging on. I can't draw. Okay? So people used to put the needle inside the little driver bit so that it has no risk of puncturing them. But now there's a new guideline saying putting it in the driver bit doesn't really help, and it actually hinders because you're clunking around a fucking scissor when you're trying to sew a stitch together by hand. So the new recommendation, the new guideline, is to just get rid of the needle driver. Just fucking leave the needle flopping around. It doesn't matter. So that's the new guideline, because the protection is not really doing anything. It's just a pain in the ass. However, connecting back to the Java part, people still use the protection. And in fact, during my rotation, people actively told me protect your needle, even though it's not like the recommended guideline anymore. So that's just the main thing. Just because, and I feel like that's why Java is still being chosen, because even though there's better things out there probably for your software, it's just older and easier to find people. Is my little analogy there, if you want to talk about my field personally. But yeah. During the late 90s and 2000s tech boom, Java became the to-go language for massive corporate systems. Today's countless banks, insurance companies, retailers, and government agencies rely on MYL, millions of lines of Java code. Reviewing these mission-critical systems in new language would be astronomically expensive and risky. Therefore, Java remains essential simply to maintain... Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying, right? So it's the old guard, right? So, yeah, and that's actually a topic I wanted to talk about today. Is this from an LLM? Yeah, I kind of sounded like one. But to be fair, it is a true statement, right? It is a true statement, right? It's been there for a long time, and it's like, hey, let's just keep using it. It's here, might as well. It's like one of the never die languages, and I feel like every new language is trying to become that. Like, we see so many new languages, so many new runtimes, everything just releasing, especially in the late 2010s to 2020s, that everyone is just trying to become, hey, we made this language, but better. So how about we capitalize on that and make it the better language? You see what I'm saying? Like, we're gonna start making it the enterprise standard. In reality, it's just like a small fraction of the amount. Now, for a hobbyist like me, somebody who just codes for the fun of it, which I haven't been doing recently because I haven't been having fun, but for somebody who codes for the fun of it, I feel like, you know, you could choose anything you want. If you find something that's cool, you could write it. The job market in my country for backend is Python, Java, Ruby on Rails. Really? I thought Ruby fucking went extinct. I have not... I guess Rails is like the only thing that's keeping Ruby alive for the most part, but Ruby on Rails is still popular? Jesus. This is why I'm so disconnected from the enterprise market. Holy shit. But yeah, anyways, there's my needle drawing. So, one thing... Speaking of the little LLM explanation there, is the old guard. You know, we're going to be using the old stuff. We have to make it simple to maintain, update, etc. Yeah, because Ruby on Rails is made in the country. Oh, you're from Denmark. Hell yeah. I know the guy who made Ruby on Rails. He's pretty popular for many good ways and bad ways. We're not going to talk about the bad ways. That's for a different streamer, not my audience. Okay. So, yeah, let's talk about... No, you're okay. Oh, not Rails? Oh, okay. I thought you meant Ruby. Okay, never mind. You mean Ruby. Never mind. Okay. Where is the... Yeah, so... Speaking of Min... What do you want me to call you? You want me to call you Min, Vinter? What do you want me to call you? Whatever works with you. But Min's comment was really interesting. Because we're gonna get into the realm of a new kid on... Min's fine? Okay, cool. A new kid on the block. Yukikai Zataris, how you doing? Okay. No flirting with me, thanks. Alright. But yeah, let's talk about Rust. The elephant in the room, which is the title of today's stream. Why is everything Rust? I have not played Pokemon, so I don't know the reference, but I might play it on my Game Boy soon, actually. I might play a ROM hack or Emerald or something. But yeah, the question, I want you guys to see if you can answer this question. Why is everything Rust? Because I have no fucking idea why everything is being rewritten in Rust nowadays. Like, why choose... Like, why is Rust the attractive thing? And FYI, I like Rust. It's a great language. It's really good for system stuff. And it works pretty well, because it's cool. Okay, fair enough. But there are a few reasons why I think Rust is the big boy in today's time. Number one is its safety. Go is the one before it. Yeah, Go was the one before it. Safety is the number one thing. Number two is low level. Yeah, and the high performance. Yep. And yeah, Dung just mentioned Go, right? Dung just mentioned Go. And the main reason why I'm thinking, right, Rust is preferable to Go is number one, it's more leaning towards systems than Go. Go is more for like web backend, so we talk about Go here. Go is like, I remember Go is more like a web or slash backend language. So it's used for like server backend stuff, and it's pretty good. I haven't really written code in Go. I was gonna write something in Go, but it kind of fizzled out. But yeah, so that is something that's very useful. But it's not a systems language. Not at all. That's what Rust is. Rust is a very, very highly powerful systems language. And previously, before Rust, we pretty much just used C++. And C++ is still used to this day. A lot of people know C++ and use C++ in today's time. It's a pretty standard language across the board. Despite the fact that the compiler yells at you and says that you and your entire bloodline sucks when you make one single mistake. I swear to God, whenever I use a C++ compiler, I just sit at it and stare at it like this. I'm like, yo, like what the fuck do you want from me, man? I made a small one-line mistake and it starts yelling at me. Yeah, lots of game engines do use C++, that's right. But it starts yelling at me like I fucking threw something off the roof or something. Like, what do you want me to do? I have to feed like the error messages into AI just so I can understand what the hell it's asking me to do. I think AI made C++ development easier for that singular reason. I used to work on like the Linux kernel stuff as well for Android, and writing and compiling C is such a fucking pain. I never used C++, but I programmed a game in assembler. I don't know if it's similar. Maybe. I'm not sure personally, but if you made... I mean, assembler, I'd assume is different than assembly. That would be my assumption, because writing a game in assembly is insanity. In many ways. Not just, like, oh, it's impressive. It's like, are you fucking crazy? But yeah, so going back to Rust, so we have the safety, we have the low-level stuff, and we have the increased perf. And the increased perf comes from no garbage collection, is one of the things why it's very... You wrote a fucking game in assembly? Jesus Christ. Hey Toki, what's up? Wasn't RCT written in assembly about... Dude, assembly is like... Oh, in Uni. I mean, still, that's impressive. I mean, any sort of game in assembly is fucking insane. I mean... So I'm saying I mean a lot. The first thing I ever wrote was for... It was Snake Game. Still impressive, you know? I wrote my first game in this processing.py thing for like school. This was back in high school. I didn't go to computer science university. I went to pre-med because I'm a fucking crazy person. But yeah. So with the Rust perf, there's no garbage collection, right? That's what makes it more performative. But whenever you don't have garbage collection, this usually means you have to manage the memory by yourself. Otherwise, you're gonna get illegal access errors, and your program is gonna fucking crash on itself, and it's not gonna be good. So that's where the safety part comes in, because previously with C++, there was no safety. There's no, like, checking to see, like, hey, are you doing the things correctly? There's no safety checks. And that's just because, you know, people are like, yo, what's good? How about we just expect the developers to be able to program in C++ properly, which is very fair, right? If you call free, then the memory gets free and you're chill, right? But Rust's safety makes it more approachable to the average user who wants to get started with programming, because you have the borrow checker managing the safety of the program for you when you do everything in compiling time. So it can tell you, like, hey, you're doing this wrong. That's the theory, though. That's not actual practice. Chris Sawyer wrote almost all of Roller Coaster Tycoon 1 and... You're fucking kidding me. x86 assembly. Wow. You want to hand optimize... That's dedication. I understand the need to optimize things as a developer. That is dedication. Like, I sometimes have spent, like, hours just agonizing over one specific function. Like, oh, can I call it this way? Can I call it that way? Can I make it more optimized so I can call things in the future, you know? I honestly should get out of that habit, but it happens. I also do it in my real life, and it's kind of bad. But yeah. So you can see here, this is why I believe everything is Rust nowadays, and thanks to you guys in chat as well for telling me the extra things you think too. But Rust is a very, very approachable language when you think about it. It's one of these languages. Let's just make a simple chart here. And we have, I guess, let's think. Yeah, time and amount learned. All right. So how do I make a learning curve graph? Yeah, okay, so let's do it like this. So let's make the red line JavaScript and the blue line Rust. Okay? So the red line of JavaScript, in a shorter amount of time, you're going to learn a lot more JavaScript. And you're eventually going to start plateauing here because, you know, there's so much JavaScript that you can do, but eventually you're just going to start coding and not really learning anything new. With Rust, however, it's going to take, on average with Rust, it takes more time to learn compared to JavaScript. And that's just because of all of the extra quirks that it had. It took me more time to learn how Rust works, because one thing you know, you start learning about lifetimes, and then you start learning about cloning, then you start learning about these random methods like async, how async works through Tokyo, and then you have to learn that entire ecosystem. You need to learn type signatures, right? You need to learn all of these extra things in JavaScript. Just write the code and you do your shit. But that's why Rust is so optimized, because it has all of these safety features to make it more approachable. In fact, I feel like Rust is technically harder to learn than C++. Is that, Chad, do you think I'm right in terms of saying that? Do you think I lean towards that point? Because you have to learn the safety part on top of the actual language. So it becomes a little bit difficult. I remember when I first started Rust that I was struggling the fuck out with lifetimes, especially when you had to do the and parenthesis A or apostrophe A, when you had to like assign the lifetime to a specific thing so it got held. That was so fucking annoying. I also learned about atomic as well, and the fact that you can't really persist something throughout the life cycle of a program without using some sort of static or once cell back in the day. But yeah, there was a bunch of stuff. In fact, all my Discord bots are in Rust, so yeah. But that's what I feel. And a more common graph that people like to use, I don't know if I could really plot it. They say like the learning curve is way steeper for Rust versus JavaScript. So take that as you may. But I still believe this graph makes more sense. You have a more slow burn when it comes to learning Rust. You have to like dedicate more of your time to it, in my opinion. Like you can see here. I mean, you can write anything in run. Yeah, exactly. You can write anything in run.js. All you ever written C++ to call it an R. Oh my god. R brings flashbacks, dude. Because I had this undergrad class. I was a wizard at R when the teacher was teaching me. But dude, that class was so boring. Oh my god. It was literally, it's not even I was in a statistics class. It wasn't a statistics class, it was a fucking programming class, if anything, and I just learned how to fucking do R, and then simultaneously forgot about it, because the standard nowadays is Python, and not R. Oh, fuck, dude. Alright. Anyways. So if you're not doing safety, you cannot code because you get tons of errors. Well, in terms of, well, there are two types of things, right? So there's the garbage collected languages. So basically, any accumulation is done for you. It's taken up in here and then freed. But in non-garbage collected languages, such as Rust, such as C++, you have to manage memory. You have to manage system resources. yourself. There's nothing running in the background that frees up memory for you. You have to do all of that by yourself, otherwise you're gonna get errors. So you need to know how references work, how lifetimes work, how you keep an object that existing for X amount of time before you get rid of it, and you need to make sure you can't call a deallocated object, because again, you need to be able to manage that yourself. That's a fundamental aspect when it comes to non-garbage collected languages, because you need to be able to know how that works. You need to be able to know, like, oh, how are my resources being managed? Now, that fine-tuned granular control is also a positive, because you're able to just optimize away any memory imbalances, but simultaneously, you can also put a fucking mem leak in your program, and you wouldn't know until your computer blows up. That's what I mean. But in terms of what Min said, with tons of errors, that's what would happen with Rust, yes. So if you don't code safely, Rust will give you an error saying something is not being borrowed correctly, or something is being called when it's not allocated. It's pretty helpful in that regard. Now we got an ad, I'm gonna snooze it. Alright. So now, let's talk about the reason why I'm talking about Rust today, is because everything is being written in it. In fact, there is a certain something that got completely rewritten in it today. Have you guys ever heard of bun? I want to know, like, am I just fucking terminally online? Have you guys ever heard of bun? Have you guys ever heard this beautiful piece of software that everybody fucking hypes up for some reason? No multi-million slot merge. Nope. Okay, I'll explain it to you. So you guys know this little language called JavaScript, right? We've been talking about, Dung has been talking about, Togi has been talking about, Min has been talking, everyone's been talking about JavaScript. I've been talking about JavaScript. Now, again, JavaScript is what is known as a clusterfuck. We have multiple different package managers. So we have Yarn, we have NPM, we have PNPM. These are package managers. And in fact, let me erase this, because we need to make another category, or at least two categories. There's front end, which is usually web, and then there's back end. Okay? Then in the back end, you got runtimes. So let's just start with Node. That's like the oldest JavaScript runtime for the back end. And then we got the three package managers. So we got PNPM, which is the one that most people use, NPM, and Yarn. So those are the three big boys. Now, in like 2020 or so, I guess like 2018, more runtimes start to surface because Node was deemed to be a piece of crap legacy software. So then, out came Dino, which is an anagram of Node from the Node creator. And with this, it interfaces, it's basically its own runtime and its own package manager. So it's an all-in-one bundled solution. And then, in about like 2022, we get this so-called hyper-performant optimized JavaScript runtime called Bun. And this changed the world, which is the bun I'm talking about here. This kind of changed the world because it has a lot of interop with Node. Again, you make a brand new runtime that is trying to surpass the thing from like 2008. Dino was made in 2017, and Bun was made in 2022, approximately. So you're trying to make this thing so people can migrate easily from Node to Bun, then you need to make it interoperable, which in this case, you're able to do. And you're just migrate everything from Node to Bun without much effort, and there you go. You got free optimization and performance. That was the overall thing. And the biggest part is the languages all of these were written in. So Node is written in C++, Dino is written in Rust, and Bun was written in Zig. And Zig is like again, I talked about the modern cool languages, right? Zig is the new kid on the block. It's supposed to be modern C. Like modern actual C with packages and easier memory management. It's not like Rust where it checks safety like that, but easier memory management, more straightforward, and it's supposed to be more performant than Rust. So, you know, that's a thing. But yeah, so all of these things were written in different languages. But Bun decided very recently, in fact, it was a couple of days ago or today, I'm not sure, to port everything to Rust. Alright, let's just... Okay, before I talk anymore, let's just go on GitHub. I'm gonna show you how many stars and how many files Bun had. Oop, that's not it. Whoopsies. Hold on, sorry guys. Okay. Just search Bun GitHub. There we go. And you can see there's a lot of fucking files here. And all of this was Zig before, like, a couple of days ago. All of this was Zig. But now, you see there's like a little Rust thing here. It's a little rusty. How in the ever-loving fuck do you make a project of this size just transition its entire language in the span of a week? Sorry, I'm just gonna ask you guys. How do you think a language, a giant, fat project that's used by so many people like Bun, transitioned fully from Zig to Rust in the span of a week? Because that's what happened. The main developer of Bun completely ported it over, for the most part, to Rust. I'm gonna write it down right here, like you guys are thinking. Yeah. So, backstory on Bun. One or two Western AI labs buys Bun, throws their infinite computer the rewrite. Exactly. So one backstory about Bun. It used to be VC funded, like most startups, but then it got acquired by Anthropic. Anthropic is now the parent company that owns Bun. Anthropic, as you know, makes Claude, which is an AI language model, an LLM. Now, with the LLM, since Anthropic owns Bun, we don't have to succumb to Claude's rate limits. So there is no rate limits. There's unlimited compute for any developer at Bun to get their hands on. And the main dev did exactly that. They took the unlimited compute and ported the entirety of Bun over to Rust using Claude in the span of a week. This dude vibe coded a fucking software. This dude vibe coded an existing project. It's fucking insane. What the actual fuck? Now, there's a few things I want to unpack here. One of the things is the fact that it was vibe coded in a week, which is insanity. The fact that it's possible is crazy. Yeah, vibe coded. It's a term. It's a legitimate term. I don't know if you've heard the term. It's legitimate. Like, there are so many people on Twitter that are like, English is the new language. AI is the future. We're going to be coding in English. Forget every programming language. AI is going to replace all of us. Like, dude, shut the fuck up, first of all. Like, you cannot write code without a programmer. That's just impossible to do because programmers trade the fucking model that helps you code. Again, whenever it comes to AI with me, this is my personal opinion. Some people have different opinions on this, especially in the VTubing sphere. But for me, if it's a companion, like, it helps you, it's made to make things easier for you, then it's good. I like it. But if it's a replacement, like it's trying to take you out of a job or something, it's bad. I don't like it. I'm not a fan for AI replacing people because it's not at the state to replace people yet. And people are fucking jumping the gun because they could be like, oh yeah, we're just gonna get rid of extra workers, not have to pay as much money, and we just pay like 20 bucks a month and we get ourselves some free AI models to do the work for us, you know? That's how they think. And it's kind of stupid in my opinion because, you know, the human workers are gonna do an infinitely better job, and they're gonna do even better than that when assisted with AI. So it's kind of like a push and pull type of thing, right? I don't know if you guys use AI during coding. I personally do at times to look things up. I use it as a rubber duck, as I've said many times before on stream. But yeah, AI is a companion. Internal teams are also on better models too than the Opus. Yeah, exactly. They are on better models. So why would you not want to use AI as like a companion? And as for a business, why would you not want to replace your employees with AI if you can pay AI less, right? And that's where all of this comes from. So what Toki was just saying, the Western AI lab bought Bun and throws their infinite compute at the rewrite to probably promote the fact that Claude can rewrite Bun. But what they forgot to mention is that vibe coding isn't exactly reliable. Oh my god. So, I guess the next thing we should talk about is vibe coding, and why I heavily dislike it. And this is just me, right? You can vibe code as much as you want. If it's for, like, a serious project, though, in my opinion, you shouldn't be doing that, because you should probably learn what's going on in the programming world beforehand. But if you're trying to, like, do a quick modification to a project that you downloaded, like I've done, then sure, you can vibe code it. But you could semi-vibe code it. But the main thing about vibe coding is that it's coding without checking work. And I'm gonna put coding in quotes here. And what do I mean by that? You see, the rule with vibe coding is that you basically talk to the model and you say like, hey, I want this thing, and here are the things I want inside there, and blah, 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 don't make mistakes, etc. Again, you shouldn't be saying don't do anything to a language model, because language models hate negatives and they will just ignore you. But that aside, I think Companion is boring too, since there's risks of replacing your own thing, offloading the cognitive friction to your ever-affirming assistant. That's true, and yeah, I have ways to mitigate that personally, but you need to be... I feel like the checking your work part really kind of offsets the offloading any cognitive thinking part, because you need to check what the fuck the AI is doing. I don't use AI in agent mode, ever. I'm not a big agent fan. I use it in plan mode, because I want to plan out what to do next. But at the same time, I also look over it, see if it makes any sense, and I make my own implementation based off of it, or I just use its implementation if it's sound enough. And most of the time, I end up editing it anyway. That's how my workflow goes when it comes to using AI. I don't just have it do things for me. It's kind of stupid. But yeah, so vibe coding is coding without checking work, right? Now, since Bun was basically vibe coded, Bun basically made their metrics this. Oh god, we got an ad break. That's fun. So, before the ad starts, they basically said, does it pass all our tests? Then we're good. That's all it did. I mean, test-driven development is great and all, but there are also cases that aren't covered by test suites. Like, let's be real here. I don't think everything is covered by a fucking test suite. I use an agent once to edit some markdown file. Okay, that's fair. AI-assisted documentation. There's actually websites for that, like DeepWiki. It's pretty cool. But yeah. So Bun's overall goal was to see, oh yeah, does it pass our test suite? And if it did, good. We can merge everything. And then we'll optimize in the future. I'll show you the beautiful pull request after the fucking ad break ends, but you see where you can probably see where I'm going here. Are those LLM-powered live docs good? I mean, if you don't have any documentation in a repo, it's better than nothing, you know? Human-written documentation is obviously better. Oh, great, we got an ad break. But now we finish the point. So human-written documentation is obviously better in this regard. But if you are looking at a repo, you got absolutely no fucking idea as to what's going on, then the DeepWiki would probably help. But it's definitely not as good. I don't think. Oh, man. But yeah. So, Bun, yes. AI generated betting. Oh my god. You gotta love Twitch, guys. Gotta love Twitch. YouTube, you buy YouTube Premium, you get no ads. You buy fucking Twitch Prime, you get ads. They made like the stupidest channel. Honestly, I wish YouTube was just like more reachable in discovery, but Twitch is just better and I have to use it. It's like... I'll wait for you guys to come back so we can continue. No worries. No sweat off my back, you know? But yeah, Bun is insanity. It is just... I don't know what the fuck they were smoking when it came to like, oh yeah, let's migrate to Rust. With AI. Bro. Something to think about, right? It's something to think about. For sure. Okay. Let me just... Alright, cool. Ad's over. Beautiful. Let me find this pull request. Where the fuck are you? I think this is like the biggest pull request if we think about it. I'm let's see. Oh, here we go. Found it. Found it. Let me show you guys. Let's see this beauty here, shall we? Why? Oh my god, the website is struggling to load it. Wait, the website's actually struggling to load it? No! Oh my god. Oh. Well, I don't see how this is just an immediate eulogy for Bun while GitHub is dying. GitHub is also dying. Is it? I mean, GitHub is always dying. All the negative comments about AI stuff. Oh my god. So let's look at the reactions. I don't know why GitHub has like this social media-esque system that it has here. But it's really weird, in my opinion. Let me show the cursor here. Okay. We got 1,000 thumbs up, 800 thumbs down, and then we just got a bunch of other... This guy's like, bro, what the fuck is this? And then you just keep going from there. And this is the main guy who made... This is the main person behind Bun, by the way, Jared Sumner. But, yeah. So, do I dare click... Do I click on the files changed? Do I click on it? Guys, do I click on this? It's gonna kill my browser. I'm scared. I'm scared. Yeah, I see the diff. That's why I'm scared to click the file change. Oh, it's 1,000,000 changes, 1,000,000 additions, 4,000 deletions. Bro, what the fuck? Okay, I'm clicking it. Okay, only the latest 350 comments are being shown. This page has been optimized for large pull requests. Dude, look at the scroll bar. It is so tiny. Oh my god. Look at the size of the scroll bar. And then there's Claude commenting here too. Look at this shit, man. Oh my fucking god. Dude, what the hell is this vibe code, man? God damn. Alright, let's see. Let's see what the conversation looks like. It's taking its time to load. Of course it fucking is. Well, 1031 hidden items. Alright. Oh, okay. I'm just gonna... okay, my computer's gonna explode. This is what I do for you guys, by the way. This is what I do on stream for you guys. We're loading all of these comments and we're gonna look through the T. I like developer T. It's always fun. Except when it involves me, and that's not fun, because I don't like it. Oh my god, it stopped. Wait, do I need more RAM for this or something? Like, what the fuck? Yo, it's not loading, guys. Have you tried Opus? No, I don't use Claude. I use GPT. I haven't touched Claude because it's not good for general purpose stuff. It's only good for coding, which I don't really care. I like Cloud Model for everything. It's stuck. It's stuck. No, okay, yeah, it just won't load. It's completely cooked. There's nothing that can be loaded here. Holy mother of god, there are 6,000 commits in here. When were these commits made? I want to know. This pull request is too big. Oh, May 14th, May 12th. Oh my... Dude. May 12th. I don't understand it. I don't either. I mean, the reason why he did it, right? There are reasons as to why he did it. Number one, I don't think it was... Okay, yeah, the Rust showcased by writing the C compiler. Yes, that's true. But I feel like the number one thing is that he shot himself in the foot by writing Bun and Zig. He did, because Zig is not exactly a stable language. It's being iterated on every version. Now, while you can argue that, hey, you could just stay on an older version of Zig, it's not necessarily a stable language to write in. It's a nice language to write small projects in, but something big like Bun, I don't know, maybe it just wasn't sustainable. Number two is that, you know, I guess this is a big code base. You wind up with tech debt. And you can't exactly write a new Bun. Well, technically you can, but it'd take a long time. So, the next best thing, and just port it over to Rust. Which is a language with the same safety features, right? It has all those beautiful safety features. But in addition, it's just more established. That's what I feel, right? I mean, that's why I feel Rust was the choice here. Maybe I'm just cynical, but I feel like it's yet another marketing stunt. And I also feel it might... And I agree with you. It also might be part marketing stunt, too. Now, the biggest question here... And I'm going to show you guys the tweets in a bit, because that's probably where everything comes into play. But should you use Bun? Should you use Bun now? Like, now that it's, like, completely AI rewritten, is it even worth it to use? I know a bunch of you guys are gonna say no. I'm gonna say the same thing. I'm gonna say no unless it's for a hobby. Right? Like, I'd be cautious using this in production. Because it's like, you don't know what's gonna go wrong with this thing. Even though it passed the test suite, that's great. Right? Test suites are good. Test suites can pass. That's fine. But it's like, this thing can go wrong at any point. At work, I run repeatedly into the limits of what supposed frontier models can do on much, much easier time. Yeah, of course you can, right? It's a large language model. It's not God. Even though some people act like it is. Like, should you use Bun? My answer is no. I don't think you should. In my opinion, I'm kind of trending backwards towards Node nowadays. Even though Node is like the oldest and the most clunkiest out of the bunch, I'm actually trending back towards Node in terms of working on my projects. It works with everything in JavaScript, and it's pretty damn good too. It actually has inbuilt package bundling. It has pretty straightforward TypeScript support, like half-baked, I'd say. It's gotten pretty workable. You know, there's packages that allow you to run TypeScript with no problem. And the secondary contender is Dino. Dino is a very, very, very good piece of software too. It's pretty stable. It has a really nice first-class modern-day support. It has good security. It has good security features, a bunch of stuff that, you know, Node just doesn't have. And I don't know. I feel like Bun is just like this experimental runtime. And sure, do whatever you want. It's your code. It's open source. Who fucking gives a shit? But it's just a more experimental thing that you should be careful trusting because it might crash at any time. In fact, there's one thing I forgot to tell you guys about Rust. You guys remember the safety with Rust, right? Well, there's a small problem, and that's the fact that you can break out a safety by using unsafe. So if you are 100% certain that the code you are running is memory safe through your own thinking, you could use unsafe code blocks to do things that are a bit more hacky, nasty, to get things working in a faster way. You can do faster things by bypassing Rust safety, by just doing some memory tricks that the Rust compiler can't estimate, you know? And that's where unsafe comes in. Now, the thing with Bun and vibe coding in general is that whenever it runs into a problem, it's probably just going to put this thing in here, and it's going to go from there. It's just going to put something unsafe, and we're going to go from there, you know? So, therefore, you're bypassing Rust's claims of safety at using Claude because it's just putting unsafe as a result. That's all it does, right? That's all unsafe is. Yeah, like, you could say, fuck you, and just ignore Rust's borrow checker. That's a possibility. I'll show you guys the actual thing. Hold on. Okay. So, keyword unsafe. Code whose interface or interface's memory safety cannot be verified by a type system. The unsafe keyword has two uses: to declare the existence of contracts the compiler can't check, and to declare that a programmer has checked that these contracts have been upheld. But also, alright, no matter what, safe Rust can't cause undefined behavior. This is referred to soundness. A well-typed program actually has desired properties. To ensure soundness, safe Rust is restricted enough so it can be automatically checked. However, it is necessary to write code that's correct for reasons which are too clever for the compiler to understand. Which makes sense. Human is way better than a compiler. The compiler is just a helper. So, these are what unsafe Rust can do. You don't really need to know most of this stuff. I mean, unless you want to write unsafe code. The extra power comes with extra responsibility. It's up to you now to ensure that your memory isn't getting completely bit-flipped. Obviously, it's Cosmic Rays, I'm messing with you. The unsafe keyword helps by clearly marking the pieces of code that need to worry about this. So you can be like, oh, here's all the safe stuff, and then I'm just going to pass everything into unsafe here and do this little trick that I learned, and then break out of it and go to safe again. Alright. So not all uses of unsafe are equivalent. Some are here to mark the existence of a contract the programmer must check. Others are to say, I've checked the contract, go ahead and do this. Okay, this doesn't matter. So unsafe FN. Calling this function means abiding by a contract the compiler cannot enforce. So this means you're going into this function knowing that the compiler is not able to check if it's memory safe. Unsafe trait. Implementing the trait. A trait is basically a class in Rust. This is like the biggest pain point in Rust, in my opinion. Means abiding by a contract, blah, blah, blah. Okay, unsafe block. The contract necessary to call the operations inside the block has been checked by the programmer. Unsafe implementation. The contract necessary to implement the trait has been checked by the programmer and is guaranteed to be respected. So these two, they're just saying good luck to you. These two, they're saying there is some sort of guarantee that the programmer has checked everything. That's pretty much it, right? I mean, these are just examples. But yeah, like, I don't know. And again, not all Rust is bad. I've written in Rust, it's great. I mean, there are some people out there that say Rust is the worst. Why are we rewriting everything in Rust? Like, for example, most of the Linux systems, right, are being rewritten in Rust. Such as, like, Bash or different, like, file operations. Instead of using the C++ code, it's using Rust code. And people are angry about that for some reason. I personally don't give a shit. Like, if it works, it works, you know? But that's the thing, man. That's the thing that people are doing. Rust is a very, very interesting programming language. And some of your favorite tools are written in Rust, right? Like, we got Python. UV is written in Rust. And then there's also a lot of Python, and, you know, a lot of Python just calls C++ in the back end because it's not multi-threaded. But UV, the package manager, is a pretty big Rust project. You also got Dino on the JavaScript side, which is also Rust. And unlike Bun, it didn't vibe code it in a week. It actually made it. It's started to work with Rust, right? That's what it was made with. Sorry, I'm tripping on my words, but it was made with Rust from the start. That's what I was trying to say. And then there's also PNPM, one of the package managers I talked about, is getting rewritten in Rust as well. So, like, it's not like Rust is all bad. It's just that the vibe, it's the fact that the vibe coding is pretty bad. That's my main gripe about it. Let me show you. So, here we go. So, unlike Bun's everything will be Rust in the future, who fucking knows, man? Maybe. I don't know personally, right? Maybe things will be Rust. I feel like things will still be C++, Rust, whatever. I don't think everything's gonna be Rust. I don't think we should be learning Rust at this time as, like, a mission-critical language. As a hobbyist language, sure. But because a lot of open source projects are made in Rust, but I doubt a lot of enterprise projects are. But yeah, this is Packet. So it's PNPM, but in Rust, which is pretty cool. And they've already started merging it into the name. It's nice. And this has been rewritten for a very long time, as you can see. It's not like it was vibe swapped. So yeah. I think people will be migrating to PNPM in the future. Hey, look, it's Claude and Copilot and the contributors. Oh, right. I guess they might have used it too. Fuck. Never mind. What exactly did Claude contribute? Let me see. Oh, gosh, this could take some time. Those cool guys. Yeah, totally real people. Yeah, it didn't really do much. Claude, 34 commits. Let's see. What did it do? Commit history. Wait, what? What? Oh. Wait, no. Where are the commits? Does this have a GitHub user? Oh, it's just a GitHub user. It's funny. Okay. But there are some commits here from the looks of it. May of 26. It didn't really make many contributions. Yeah, it looks like Packet is more like a human-written thing. Let's see. Ah, I see. So it started in 2023. Then it started gaining steam again now, just to finish the job. I see. Okay, you can see right here. Started migrating over to Rust. Okay. I also think they're making TypeScript use Go now. So... TypeScript Go. Yeah. If you guys don't know, TypeScript is basically JavaScript with types. So... they're rewriting TypeScript in Go because it's faster, instead of waiting for 5 years in their existing JavaScript project. That's pretty cool. This is actually cool. like the ability to use TypeScript with a faster language so that everything transpiles faster. I wonder what you guys think about that. But yeah, this will be merged into main pretty soon. Love TypeScript. I think everyone loves TypeScript. Honestly, TypeScript did save Java. I think TypeScript saved JavaScript in terms of relevance because everybody always got mad about the fact that JavaScript just didn't have typing and it wasn't as stable and people kept memeing on it. But now TypeScript made it somewhat more stable in terms of you can make a type and it'll make sense when you actually code in your text editor. So yeah. Sorry, gonna drink some water. Yeah, TypeScript 7. What is the latest version of TypeScript? Let me check. I think TypeScript 7 is the latest, right? TypeScript. No, it's 6. Okay, I'm just... Fuck off with your verification. Okay, yeah, TypeScript 6. I see. Okay, yeah, so I guess when TypeScript 7 comes out, it's gonna be all in Go. Pretty cool, pretty cool. Okay. That's neat. But yeah. Anything else you guys want to yap about with this Rust shit? Any grievances you want to talk about with AI? Have you been else? Yeah, I've been getting a lot of Cloud4 challenges. In fact, Google actually made reCAPTCHA worse. So people are just using Cloud4 nowadays, and I guess the challenges are popping up and people are using strict mode or something. But yeah, I think every time I go somewhere in NPM, I get a Cloud4 challenge. It's fucking annoying. It's insane. I think it's because of the amount of hacks that have been going on in NPM lately. There's been one where another package got compromised by a fucking shy halud worm, which for some reason used to be rare, and now it's happening every other month now. And so many packages are getting fucking compromised because of it, and it's insane. It's ridiculous. Like, what the fuck? When did this start? But anyways, my opinion, Bun is not my cup of tea now. Let me just go on Twitter real quick. Bun. Alright. Let's look at the tweets regarding Bun. So, this is from the guy. Yeah, our team has been talking about what we can do to reduce our exposure to all the supply chain. I know, it's insane! I talked about, like, why the fuck are there so many supply chain attacks? Let's not use JS as a recurrent thing. No, use Dino. That's what you should do. That would fix all of the problem. Honestly, it probably would, because Dino is a very secure framework. Very secure runtime, but yeah, probably avoiding JavaScript might be a good idea too, but you do need it for the web, so it's like a catch-22. But yeah, let's look at what the tweets are for the Rust thing. So this Bun version releases tomorrow. If we do merge the Rust rewrite, which they did, this would be the last version in Zig. I have pretty high confidence. It passes Bun's test suite on everything, so it passes all the tests. It closes about 200 GitHub issues, still refactoring and simplifying. I have yet to see a benchmark where it is slower than the Zig implementation. It's the same code base, doesn't use async Rust, and like the Zig implementation, uses fewer third-party libraries. It's really the same thing with better tools to prevent crashes. Yeah, except it has a bunch of vibe code in it that is a black box for the most part. But yeah, let's look at what this guy's tweeted. My team is hiring to make Bun and Claude code faster. Okay? Plan for tomorrow, dog food Bun's Rust post on Claude Code internally and start writing the blog post. Oh dear fucking Christ. Then there's more stuff about the Rust port. Keep going, we keep going, we keep going. Huh. Oh, here. Why? I'm so tired about worrying about spending lots of time fixing memory leaks and crash and stability issues. So yeah, that's why I said, like, it's just causing a bunch of issues on the coding front in terms of writing Bun itself. And also, have you guys noticed that... Oh, hold on. Oh. There we go. Have you guys noticed that Bun isn't necessarily like a... it's not like Node, where it's just the runtime. It does so much extra shit. It has an SQL database, SQLite. It has an S3 for AWS inbuilt in it. It has Redis, a Redis client in there too. Like, what the fuck? Why? Do you guys agree with the fact that, do you think we should have all of these extra utilities in here? I don't understand the point of having S3 in general. I guess S3 compatible object storage systems. I don't know. I guess the only reason why is because it's faster. That's all it is. That's the only reason. They're just making it faster. So that's why Bun S3 is a thing. For some fucking reason. I don't know. So weird. I guess people do complain Node's standard library is too lightweight. I mean, Dino also has a standard library, except it's modular. So you can pull from it if you want to. I mean, yes, Node's standard library is lightweight, but also it makes sense to pull external packages for things that aren't necessary, like S3, no? I don't know, like... Stuff for file systems, stuff for writing to the terminal, that's fine, but... For fucking cloud storage buckets? I don't know. See, it doesn't sit right with me. I've always had that weird gripe about Bun. Like, why is it that? Alright. Oh, thank God. I was scared to use Bun in prod with all those seg fault reports. I mean, I'm still a little scared because of 1 million AI rewrite, but that will get better over time. Oh, God. Bun is now too good to be used in prod. Oh, shit. Okay, anyways. Yeah, it's just a bunch of Bun stuff. But yeah, it's basically AI now. Great, it's cool. Whatever. Again, just honestly, Dino or Node probably is the way to go for the time being. I remember there was like that entire ball thing where it was just like a bunch of balls bouncing around that was trying to see which one iterated faster of a loop. And Bun was the fastest JavaScript runtime, close to Go. So people started using Bun for that reason. But yeah. Anyways, no hate on anyone. Like, it's just my opinion on things. Anyways, let's switch. Alright. Let's just, like, switch gears here. Because... But it works. It works in quotes. We don't know if it works. That's the thing. We don't know what fucking shit is gonna happen once this is pushed to main. Like, once the release is made for us, we don't know what's gonna happen in terms of, hey, there could be some random crash that occurs in your production app, as opposed to Node, which is battle-tested and stable, and it's not gonna crash on you. Or it's gonna have a lower likelihood of crashing on you. Okay. So... Let me get pause this. We're gonna look at this guy. I'm gonna pivot here. So you guys... Okay. Let's start by talking about Apple. I'm streaming right now on a MacBook. I have an iPhone charging, I have an iPad right next to me. Everything integrates so seamlessly. When it comes to Apple devices, they're like the gold standard for ecosystem. You got your MacBook, an iPad, and an iPhone, which all link together in this holy trinity. This love triangle of Apple devices. They all interop seamlessly with each other. In fact, iOS apps, all these apps can run on each other. Not as much Mac, but more so iPad, iPhone, and maybe a little tiny bit on MacBooks because of the chipset and the architecture for modern day Mac. But now we get into... So, Apple devices have a great ecosystem. They're all Linux. Yeah, they're all... I mean, if you want to be a big chud here, big Chad, you know, it's not actually Linux, it's actually a Unix that was forked and made into Darwin, you know? I'm kidding, obviously, I don't fucking give a shit, but yeah, technically, it is basically just like Linux-alike, we could say. But there are other companies that want this level of ecosystem. Microsoft tried it with the PC and the Windows Phone. I don't know if you guys are old enough to remember Windows Phones, and the Surface. So they tried making their trinity with these three. The only problem is that Windows Phone was ass, and the Surface is so fucking expensive nobody wants it. So Microsoft's still stuck with the PC. I remember theming my iPod Touch to look like the Windows. I like the Windows Phone UI. Controversial take. It looked pretty nice. It looked pretty new and cool. Remember Windows 8? I do remember Windows 8. Yes, I remember how fucked up Windows 8 was, and I am glad Windows 10 existed. Now Windows 11 exists, and everything's gone to shit, apparently. I'm fine with Windows 11, I don't really care, but yeah. But now, we got a new hat in the ring. Google. You guys remember this company, right? This small company. Definitely not a publicly traded company that manages, like, so many ads. So right now, we got... The main thing for a Holy Trinity is the computer, a phone, mobile device, and maybe a tablet. The Don't Be Evil company. Exactly. Yes. So that's the holy trinity that we need. The phone is there. Android. If you guys don't know, Google owns Android. It's Google's licensor. They've been making Android for they've been working on Android for a long time. So they own Android. The computer, they have the Chromebook line, right? Not necessarily known as the best of the computers. It's pretty crap. And the tablet is also Android, which also sucks, mind you. Android tablets suck compared to iPads. Okay, so they have Android, and a Chromebook. So this thing is the main pain point here. They can't figure out a way to make a computer that sells to people. Chrome OS is basically just a website, basically a fancy-ass Linux fork, Gen 2, that runs websites. That's all it was. It's since expanded to have Linux compatibility and be able to run Steam as well. Yeah, I remember the early Chromebooks too. I was actually in school when they first started getting introduced in schools. And the biggest thing for Chromebooks is that they are school laptops. They're more educational rather than anything else. No one's really going to be using a Chromebook for like daily use because MacBooks make more sense. They dual boot Linux gorgeously. Yeah, gorgeously is a very strong way to put it. But they had a lot of problems. They had and have a lot of problems. Let's just say that. They're good for education, but they're not good for personal use. You should just get a MacBook or a cheap Windows laptop if you actually want a good laptop. And good is in quotes because Windows laptops also fucking suck. I love my MacBook. It's great. But and also expensive. We'll go away from that. So Google wants to make their luxury brand laptop that everyone wants to buy. And what they called it is the Google Book. And no, I am not joking. It actually is called the Google Book. What do you guys think about the name Google Book? Very, very interesting name choice. What the fuck is a Google Book? I think they fundamentally wanted Chromebooks to be a thin client for cloud compute. Probably, yeah. That makes sense, actually, because Google Cloud makes them a ton of money. But Google Book? Really? Is that really the name you're giving your premium laptop brand? A fucking Google Book? I know, it sounds so weird to me. Like, oh, yeah, MacBook. MacBook is its own thing. Ultrabook. Right? There used to be an actual Ultrabook brand. Now it just became a type of laptop. The LG Gram, like the lightest laptop. The HP Spectre. These all sound pleasant to the tongue. Then Google Book comes out, and it is just I find this just the weirdest sounding name ever. So fundamentally always flawed because people still want their shit to function somewhat when not connected to the internet. Well, yeah, of course it's fundamentally flawed because they want a fucking computer. They don't want a thin client. They want a computer. Just wait until the Steam machine releases and then carry a backpack. Oh my god. And batteries, yes, of course. Isn't that just a Steam Deck? They tried to sell premium Chromebooks. Oh yeah, I know the premium Chromebooks. I will talk about that in a second. There are two of them. There are two of them I want to talk about because they were pretty shit. Alright. Hold on. So there's a trailer. Let's see the trailer. Let's see a trailer of this. Again, I am shitting on these things, but man, this name, I don't know. Oh, right. Congratulations on the worst name ever. Bruh. Okay. Is it gonna be captured? Yeah, I think so. Let me mute the music. Let's play the video. I hope I don't get copyright for this. Okay, so let's start here. And the main thing that we can start talking about is, you can see they're already talking about Gemini. They're already talking about Gemini here. I'm sorry, let me shrink the window and I'll restart the video. There we go. Apple Book. Apple Book was a thing, that's true, but then they renamed it to Mac. Apple Book still sounds more pleasing to the ears than Google Book, in my opinion. Alright, anyways, let's... Alright, that was just a new spec. Low line here. Alright. Gemini. And then it's that. Okay. And then just restyles your photo. Cool. Damn. Okay. So open up Android. Open up from your phone. Okay. Okay. More Gemini. And then you could use messages, like in a Mac. Cool, cool. And that's how it looks. That's fingerprint. Looks like a MacBook, basically. Okay. Here we go. Here we go. So, let's just deconstruct this. It doesn't look like that, though. Oh, God. Okay, we'll look it up in a sec. But let's just deconstruct this ad real quick, okay? So, it looks like this ad is very hyper-focused on being an AI-powered laptop. You guys remember, like, the Copilot PCs, where you have Microsoft Copilot being integrated pretty much everywhere into a Windows laptop. And this feels like the same thing. They're trying to put AI everywhere. And it's basically hybridizing Google's product. So it's hybridizing Gemini, which is a pretty damn good model, mind you. It's really good. But they're hybridizing that. And they're also adding the fact that you could just use your Android apps from your phone. So I assume your phone is connected here because you can see that it's not necessary. It doesn't look like it's running the app natively. It looks like it's running it through the phone itself, unless I'm mistaken. But yeah, so you're able to run Android apps on this new operating system that they've made. I don't know if this is still Chrome OS, but we shall see. But yeah, so this is the Google book in a nutshell. Or at least Google's rendition of it, according to chat, because Toki just said, their release says they're partnering with different brands who are all making their own Google book. So this is just the reimagined version of a Chromebook. And also we got an ad. Fuck me. Alright. It doesn't look like that, though. Okay, so we'll look it up. The slop book. Oh, man. I look at the... I mean, it is the same experience as a MacBook, technically. Like, you're connecting everything together. You could use applications, this custom OS and everything like that. It's basically designed like fucking Mac OS. Look at the bottom bar. Very shameless copying right there. I don't even know if it has a spotlight function. Probably some sort of Android for laptops, let's be real. Or maybe it's just a customized Linux again, but we'll see. I don't know. Toki, did they mention, like, they will run Android apps? Yeah, I think they would run Android apps natively. That's what I'm thinking, too. It's on ARM. That makes a lot of sense, because they're trying to... It's the same as Apple. Yeah. Yeah, it's an ARM. I think it's it is ARM. Yeah, I forgot to mention that. It is ARM. So it'll be able to run with no problem. Alright, ad break. Great. While the ad break is going, I'm going to look up Google Book. Let me just see for a second if it... yoinks my info, so... I want to talk about this laptop because it was so interesting. Like, oh my god, they're putting something brand new in there. Alright. Phone... What the fuck is the Google Book? Hey, Toki, thanks for a sub. Much appreciated. Alright, Google Book. No, not... Oh, this is the actual site. Okay. Alright, it's not showing the actual thing, so I can show this. It actually goes... The actual first search result on the non-Google search engine is Google Books. Google Books, love it. Alright. The heck was that? I don't think it showed what just happened. Let me check the Twitch thing. Sorry, I need to credit you, and I'm being a dickhead if I don't. Let's see. Hold up. How do I see the stream manager? Here we go. Anything just happened? No. Okay, it was just, my thing was just schizoing out. Cool. Are links blocked in your chat? No, they're not. You can send a link, that's fine. Alright. So, yeah, first thing that shows up, I send the ad break, the Google Books. It's pretty funny. But let's look at the Google Book. Designed for Gemini, so they're going heavy on the AI stuff here. intelligence is the new spec. This is the... Yeah, this is the same ad. Okay. Then the best of Gemini meets our most advanced laptops. Magic pointer. Select anything to ask or create with Gemini instantly. So it's inbuilt into the laptop itself. Build a custom widget. That's pretty cool, honestly. You're able to build stuff for yourself. I don't know anyone who really uses widgets on a laptop. Who uses a widget on a laptop? I use widgets on my phone for weather and stuff. But do you guys really use it on a laptop? Okay, cast your apps. Open your phone apps on your laptop. So this is like casting it. Okay. Quick access is just Chrome OS. This is Chrome OS, basically. Oh, and this is what Toki said. Yeah, so Acer, Asus, Dell, HP, Lenovo are all making a version of a Google Book, and then there is the one that Google looks like it's... Okay, I see. Yeah, I mean, this is indeed a Google Book. I don't know what else to say, you know? ARM says Google Books are all on ARM compute. Let me see. Okay. Google's introduction of Google Book brings the next generation step forward. Built on part of the Android tech stack, so I was right about it being built on part of Android. And enabled by ARM compute, Google Book brings together AI-powered experiences. And, okay, yeah, so the future of AI. Google Book to feature Intel... Oh yeah, there was an Intel deal for this, wasn't there? So Intel Core 3000, 300, and ARM processors. So, yeah, this is I feel like this just looks like a luxury Chromebook refresh. This just looks like a Chromebook refresh from the looks of it. It's just the more luxury version of it. High performance product. We'll see. I mean, you can't really knock it till you try it, you know? I mean, who knows what's gonna happen? I don't know if it's gonna be productive, because it's probably just, it's just running Android from the looks of it. Or Chrome OS with Android's built in. Something like that. According to ARM, here, it says that it's running, it's enabled by ARM compute, which is pretty cool, but yeah. Sure. So that's that, but Toki did mention the previous Google luxury Chromebooks, and I want to go over those because I've known Chromebooks since the beginning. Alright. Luxury Chromebooks. Luxury Chromebooks are a different breed, okay? These were the Chromebooks that were super expensive. So first, you had the Chromebook Pixel. Who remembers that name? So the Chromebook Pixel was this very fancy-looking Chromebook. And it also had, like, the little light bar, little light strip thing. That's here. You see this Google Book light strip? It's the same thing. It also had... I think it's like a common feature of all of the fancy Chromebooks. They have that little light bar for some reason. So the Chromebook Pixel was the first one. The second one was the Pixel Book. Ikey 3x2 panel was true, but also, like, it's... I'll get to the reason why it sucked in a second. So then there was the Pixel Book that released with the Pixel 1 series of smartphones. So the Pixel 1 phone. So that released with the Pixel lineup when they first debuted it from the Nexus. Then the third one was the Pixel Slate, which was released in conjunction with the Pixel 2 phone. So the Pixel Slate was kind of like a tablet computer hybrid. It wasn't as luxury as the Pixel Book, but it had a pretty hefty price tag, so I'm putting it there. And now, number 4 is their next one, which is the Google Book. And it looks like they're diversifying a bit, because previously these three were just offered by Google. So you had to buy it from Google Store. But the Google Book is from manufacturers. So Lenovo, HP, etc., etc. Those are the people that are manufacturing this thing. As opposed, and probably Google as well, as you can see right here. So yeah. Now let's look up all of the luxury Chromebooks, because I want to just show you guys the fucking craziness of this shit. Alright, so... I am not typing in Brave. Go. There we go. Okay. Chromebook Pixel. So this is the Chromebook Pixel. It released alongside, like, the first 2 ever Chromebooks, and you can see it's pretty bare bones. Again, it ran Chrome OS, so, like, you're paying $1,000 for a basically MacBook price for a laptop that runs just a way to run web apps. That's all it is. It's pretty shit. So this is the Chromebook Pixel. Again, same light bar. This little fancy hinge here. Costed $1,000 if I remember correctly. Oh yeah, and then they had this this 3x2 display, which, you know, gave more real estate. First time I'm hearing Chrome OS. I am so sorry. Yeah. Hold on, let me just show you what Chrome OS is. You know what? Fuck it. Also, you can put Chrome OS on any computer, by the way. You can do that, but let's just look at like the Wikipedia just to show you guys what Chrome OS is. Chrome OS is a proprietary operating system from Google. It's derived from Chromium OS, which is derived from Gen 2, and uses the Google Chrome web browser's user interface. And basically, it's basically, oh, that is a bad image. But you can see that it's Linux, but very dumbed down. There was also like a developer mode as well, so you could get into the terminal. In fact, the terminal wasn't even its own application like on Linux. The terminal was accessible from the browser. I remember doing that shit in school when I was bored, just going on the terminal there and seeing what I could do. That was what I was doing. So yeah. And they kept restyling Chrome OS and adding more stuff over the years, such as Linux support, like a Linux VM in Chrome, or like Linux support in Chrome itself, so you could run Linux apps in Chrome OS. But yeah, there were a bunch of extra things. But the Chromebook Pixel is this first one. Then there's the Pixelbook. So, as you can see, it's a little bit more modernized. Still the same material, fancy Chrome OS keyboard layout. Right, look at this. Yeah, you forgot Crosh? Yeah, Chrome OS shell. So yeah, you can see this is the keyboard. It's the same as like all other Chromebooks. It looks like the HP Spectre X360, right? The same. Basically, it looks like the same laptop. Let's just look at it. Come on. So this is the Pixelbook, and it was released the Pixel 1. It was flipping. It also had a pen, right? It also had a tiny pen. Let's see. Pixelbook pen. No, it doesn't show. Oh, that is the definition of a stylus. So that's a Pixelbook pen, and that's pretty much it. It sold for... Oh yeah, this was separate too. So the MSRP for this was also $1,000. And it still ran Chrome OS, by the way. And then here's the Pixel Slate. So this was cheaper. It's basically, you know, this is basically an iPad Pro. So you get like the iPad with the keyboard attachment. That's basically what this is. It's just a fancier, it's just a fancy Chrome OS tablet. I think it's really the only one they've made, honestly. I don't think there's other Chrome OS tablets out there, if I'm not mistaken, because most tablets use Android, not Chrome OS. In fact, this is basically just like an example as to running a PC OS on a tablet that's not Windows. A lot of people are saying Apple should make an iPad that runs Mac OS, because iPad OS is absolute dog water, and I agree. Terrible. I actually talked about it in a different stream. I think it's on my TikTok. But yeah, that's the Pixelbook, and then we'll get to the Google Book. Yeah, so those are the luxury laptops that Google has made for us consumers, you know? There's a lot of Chrome tab? Really? Let me search it. I might just ask Gemini, honestly. I might know. Oh. Let's see. I am mistaken. There are Chrome OS tablets. Never mind. I am mistaken. Yeah, okay, that's cool. Yeah, honestly, I feel like Apple should make something like this. You know? But I understand why Apple doesn't do it, because it's kind of shittifying their Mac OS to be a tablet and a computer hybrid. But a lot of people want Mac OS and a fucking iPad form factor, man. 2-in-1's an attachable keyboard. Yeah, that's why I'm saying, like, a fancy tablet computer. That's what I was saying. Yeah, that's the... I didn't know that. That's pretty interesting. As you can see, there's a lot of different Chromebooks. I mean, you said slop book before, Toki. To be fair, these are all fucking slop books. There's so many of them. Like, you could... I think I know why Chromebook tablets exists, and it's because of kids, right? So when you're a kid, you know, you could either have the full-fledged laptop, or you could have something that's like a hybrid. They could draw on and shit and do art. So this is like a thing that you could use. I think that's the way to go about it. Low-grade hardware is AI stuff. Yeah, I mean, in my opinion, there's like a fine line between useful AI and AI slop. And it is, this right here is by far just shoving AI into everything. Apple is not immune from this either. They have the fucking Apple Intelligence disaster. And it's sitting on my MacBook right now, completely off because I fucking hate it. It's terrible. So, yeah. Again, I don't want an AI agent to delete everything on my system. Thank you very much. Oh, God. But yeah, that's the Pixel book. That's the Google... Sorry, the Google book, not the Pixel book. That name was already taken. Put this down. There we go. Alright. Windows was a combination of both, yep. What is with my fucking Twitter, man? My Twitter algorithm is so fucked, man. Apple is self-aware to know that Apple Intelligence is bad. So they'll try and make it essential. Yeah, we'll see what happens with WWDC. I think they're still trying to claw back at the AI relevance because it's like taking over the entire world. But yeah, I agree. Apple focuses a lot more on the hardware side of things and also fucking around with the software side of things with the liquid glass. I feel like liquid glass has gotten stable enough, which is good, but still, it's pretty bad. It's not as good as I like the flat design more. But the one thing I liked about liquid glass that I've talked about in the previous stream where I really liked it is the pill UI where you could just like drag around the items and it's not like obscuring half the screen, which kind of makes it feel more immersive. It's pretty nice. And it's pretty fluid too. I like that aspect of it. The UI changes are pretty nice with liquid glass, the new Apple design. But other than that, yeah. Thank you, MLX. Yeah, MLX, the Apple AI framework. I haven't used MLX. I think I've just used straight Llama CPP on my Mac, but to be fair, I have a fat-ass PC at home with a 3090 in it. So that thing is running an absolute powerhouse right now. Oh, God. But yeah. Okay. Let's see. Oh, yeah, I talked about this. I talked about this on the last stream. You guys want me to talk about it again? The Pokemon Pop-Tarts. Have you guys heard of Pokemon Pop-Tarts being scalped? It's kind of funny. All the Pokemon cards, all the Pokemon merch. Yeah, okay, I'll talk about this. I talked about it last stream, so I'm not really gonna talk too much about it, but basically, if you guys don't know, Pokemon is a pretty popular brand, right? I mean, you probably know that already by the games and the stuff. But Pokemon is releasing a bunch of collaborations of apparel, bathroom supplies, towels, even toilet paper, right? They've released toilet paper of Pokemon toilet paper. It's gonna become like the fucking COVID pandemic again. Everyone hoarding toilet paper, but not for this case of like, oh my god, we're gonna be locked out of our homes. No. This time, it's in the case of, oh my god, I want to resell this toilet paper on eBay. And one thing that Pokemon released was a fucking Pop-Tart. And it's selling on eBay for about 4 times the markup. The MSRP for these is $3. It's being sold for $19 and $24 respectively. Pikachu cleaned my... Pikachu cleaned my butt, of course. There's like a... I don't think I can show this image, but if you know, you know. There's this like viral image circulating around of this Piplup being asked to use as a bidet. Oh, yeah. So yeah, basically people scalp these. Do you guys collect Pokemon cards or anything like that? Or anything Pokemon related? I know some of my friends are obsessed with Pokemon. That's just them though. I'm personally not a big Pokemon fan, but I'll play it, sure. I don't know. With me, I can't really like conceptualize every Pokemon. I can't really play like that. Like, oh my god, I gotta look at the IVs and stuff like that. I have a pretty big collection. Oh, that's cool. I used to have a card collection when I was younger in elementary school, but the guy got lost to time. Who knows? Maybe some of those are worth money now. I don't think so, though. But the main thing is that... What is it? Like, when it comes to me and Pokemon, I find that memorizing, like, oh, this Pokemon is great, that Pokemon is good, or you need to know these IVs, EVs, or how to play the game properly, and stuff like that. It's very open-ended, but at the same time, it's very difficult to know what does what. Unless you've, like, played it since you were young, which I haven't. I only collected Dragon Ball cards as a kid. Oh, really? I know Dragon Ball. Oh yeah, I do know Dragon Ball is a trading game. My fucking friend used to degen it. Degen like the iPad version, but that's cool. Yeah, Dragon Ball was pretty big back in the day, no? And when I say back in the day, I'm pretty fucking young, so I'm not an old man, I promise. Even though people might say I am. I'm not old. No, I'm not old. Oh god. Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean, before I'm so old. Listen, older means wiser usually, so I will gladly. My back hurts. I mean, mine does too, but for different reasons. I think back pain is like universal once you turn 18. Older means more money. Yes! Well, older means more money to buy Pokemon cards, but older also means you're gonna get scalped out of Pokemon cards because everyone's fucking scalping that shit on eBay, bro. Like, come on. I'm 24. The fuck you, you're old. Well, fuck you. What do you mean you're old? That's not old. I'm totally not projecting here. That's not old. No. Older also means no one can tell me not to buy Pokemon card. Very true. No one can tell me not to buy a video game on my Switch. I bought a Switch too as well, so I spent with my own money on that thing. And it's a pretty fucking good console. If you want to go into YouTube, there's a VOD where I made the Switch 2 dock into a mini dock. And you can see me absolutely going after it with the fucking flush cutter because I fucking stripped a screw. But that aside. Yeah, but no one can tell you not to buy. That is true. You can now play Tomodachi. I can, yeah. Well, can is an overstatement considering that I am studying my ass off most of the time. Tomodachi is on Switch 1. It is? I don't know. Tomodachi Life. I mean, Switch 2 games. I'm gonna be honest with you guys, though. The Switch 2 makes playing any, like, game just better. Like, infinitely better. The only advantage that the Switch 1 has is that it's hackable. I have a hack Switch up at my main house, and I have a hack Switch. And it's pretty good, right? I can play anything I want on there, but the Switch 2 is just the better console by far. It's so much nicer. I have a Switch Lite I haven't opened yet. Yeah, I don't know about the Switch Lite. I mean, you have the sticks that will guarantee Joy-Con drift. You can't even replace them. And the Switch 2 also has guaranteed Joy-Con drift because you can't put Hall effect in this thing. So, yeah. I think I want... Yeah, because... Remember? The Switch 2 is a magnetic controller. So... If it gets drift, then the best thing you can do is just replace the control sticks. You can't add Hall effect sensors like the Switch 1 with those custom joysticks custom analog sticks, because of the powerful magnets that connect the Joy-Con to the Switch 2. From Software's making Blood Bowl. Yeah, Duskbloods, yeah. I know a couple of friends that are into that. I'm so ready for that too. It's supposed to be coming this year, right? Duskbloods. I remember that. Yeah, I can't wait, because it's probably coming out after my exam too, so I'll be able to play it as well whenever I'm off. Like, one thing about my current state in my career is that after these few sets of exams, I don't have to take an exam for like another like year and a half. So, I mean, I still have to work, but I don't have any exams at all. So whenever I just go home, I can relax and do whatever the fuck I want instead of studying. It's actually pretty liberating. It's so nice. So I honestly can't wait for this shit to be over. I'm also scared. Which exam am I on? So, I finished my 3rd year of med school, and I'm taking, like, an in-between exam. I'm not going to say what it is, just for personal reasons, but if you look it up, you'll know. But yeah, I'm taking, like, an in-between exam. That's pretty big and pretty important. So, yeah, I'm studying every day for it. I like to keep, specifics private, just because, it's just... I just, like... doing that. I don't want to overshare too much, but you know what? If you look it up, you'll know what it is. That's what I'm trying to say. All right. Nevertheless, and I also don't want to be. I don't want to be reminded of the fact that I got this fucking thing coming up too. So, oh god. The only reason I'm streaming is because I cannot study in the night. I don't know if it's just me, I know Min is in uni right now. I don't know if it's just me. Can you guys study in the nighttime? Is it possible at all for you guys to study in the nighttime? I can't. I physically cannot. My brain just refuses to study when it's dark outside. It does not want to do anything. I have to study when it's daytime. Meanwhile, let me just pull up some music for myself. Here we go. Alright. So, yeah, like, studying in the nighttime is something that's hard. The other thing is... the one thing that is very anomalous for me is I'm really good at studying in a busy environment. Like, let's say, like, 50 different things are going on. I could just sit down, pull out my computer, and just start studying while everybody else is talking. Med student cafe buffet. I don't drink caffeine. I don't drink caffeine. I have not drank a single drop of caffeine during medical school. I'm not a caffeine person. Maybe that's why I can't study in the night, you know? maybe that's why I can't study in the night. Because I don't drink fucking coffee and actually get good sleep. Well, I feel like med students love singing. Oh, you're saying cafes, not coffee. My bad. When I hear cafe, I think coffee. Sample size of 3. No, I stay at my own place and study. It's either, for me, it's either campus or it's at home. A lot of students do sit in cafes, though. That's true. It's actually very true. I think it's just because it's secluded, like a little area that you can just sit in that's outside of your house. Doesn't have, like, all your distractions, so you can just sit down and study. That's the thing. I know my gym has, like, a little work area that you can go to and sit there. It's a pretty nice work area, too, so that's another place to study. Yeah, but I used to study in the hospital all the time in the cafeteria, and just, like, when I got some free time or just some breathing time during breaks. So that's another one. But yeah, that's my overall thing. Sample size of 3 is funny, though. You know, more med students, huh? I see. You're betraying me. I understand. I'm kidding, obviously. Okay, there's also one more thing I want to cover. And it's this. So, do you guys know this? Do you guys know this thing? The 2026 Canvas security incident. Now, for you guys that don't live in the US, you probably don't even know what Canvas is. Or you probably have never heard of it. Well, let me explain to you. So, Canvas... Okay, sweet. But Canvas is what is known as a learning management system. Basically just a system, a web application, that allows teachers to publish assignments, and it's basically just like a online school system, basically. So if you go to a college, if you go to some high schools, you'll probably have some sort of Canvas where assignments are given and tests are taken on, etc., etc. So there's a bunch of things you can do on that. However, when there is a singular platform that's used everywhere, there's a single point of failure as well. And in fact, most schools actually rent out servers from the parent company to use Canvas. Okay. So let's go over what happened. Basically, in May, there was a hack. A hack that basically took down the entirety of Canvas servers. All of the school servers, all of the student information was taken by these hackers. So it says right here, in early May 2026, Canvas LMS, operated by private company Instructor, was affected by a data breach and outage. Instructor disclosed that it was investigating a cybersec incident involving user data, including names, email addresses, student ID numbers, and messages among users. The company said it had found no evidence that passwords, birth dates, or government IDs or financial information was involved in the hacking. Incident became on May 1, where Instructor disclosed an initial cybersecurity incident where user records were stolen for ransom. So this is basically just ransomware. Despite Instructor's claim that the situation had been resolved, Canvas was hacked again with this message. Shiny Hunters has breached Instructor again. Instead of contacting us to resolve it, they ignored us and did some security patches. If any of the schools in the affected list are interested in preventing the release of their data, please consult with a cyber advisory firm and contact us privately at Talks to negotiate a settlement. So they were doing ransom. And they had until May 12th to contact them and get the data back. Otherwise, it would be released to the public. Basically, if somebody was enrolled in a US or Canadian college that uses a Canvas, you basically had your data under hostage. And you could go to, you were basically going to your Canvas website for your university, and you saw that it was under maintenance, and that was because of this hack. So the hack is the largest educational security breach on record. It affects 8,000 universities, educational ministries, and other institutions worldwide. It has significant implications in the United States, where it's used by 41% of higher education institutions. All right, so one of the unis I attended to swapped to Canvas very recently and was a very unpopular decision. I guess. I mean, I personally like Canvas. It's pretty good. But compared to Blackboard, what I used to use, Canvas is pretty good compared to that. But yeah, I see what you mean, though. It can get a little annoying. The hack is considered the largest security breach. And that's pretty much. So the main thing that they used is there was this loophole where you could get into. So they saw that the exploit was an issue related to something called the Free for Teacher account. And the Free for Teacher account is an account that's basically given to a teacher that's not part of, like, the Canvas organization. So Shiny Hunters basically obtained one of these accounts from the looks of it, and buried its way into Canvas's systems, causing the hack to occur, and for them to lock out Instructure, basically. So Instructure issued an apology for the lack of transparency. They've reached an agreement, and there are still some issues. So yeah, basically, they were completely breached, and there was nothing they could really do about it apart from just paying the ransom. That's it. They got completely screwed over. So let me just draw it out for you. Okay? So here's Canvas. And it powers a bunch of schools. So it powers unis, high school, and international. Okay? Oh, great. We got an ad break. That's fun. You know what? I'm just going to run the ad break now. Let's get it over with, and then we can continue with this. Sorry, guys. Just give it a little minute. Ay. Ad breaks suck. Sorry. I know you guys hate ads as much as I do. It's terrible. It's bad. It sucks. It is bad. Oh, man. But yeah, this is pretty big in terms of how it got broken apart. Like, nothing doing, you know? I always have to drink some water when I'm yapping. Unlike other streamers, I yap way too much. I always have to drink some water in between a few times because my throat gets so dry. Crazy. Ay. Alright. We got 30 seconds. Let's just let this run. But yeah, so I guess I could keep drawing it. So Canvas, Uni, High School, International. And then from there, we could talk about the wording if any of the schools are affected. Okay, yeah. So let me just drag this down, actually. Alright. But yeah, I mean, the fact that there's a single point of failure for a school, especially something as important as education, can be very detrimental to the overall experience. Our ad break's over. Beautiful. Alright, so let's start over. We have Canvas here, right? It powers all of these things. Now, Canvas has the ability to sign up for institutional accounts, right? But they also have this other system where you can sign up as a free for teacher. So let's say you're a teacher and you want to try using Canvas, you could get yourself an account through this program. However, the hackers somehow got one, and there was an exploit here that bypassed into Canvas's internal systems, allowing it to access its databases and get information from all of these universities and educational institutions in general. Then what the hackers did is they held ransom. Basically, give us the money or we give all of the students real identifying information on the dark web. And the reason why this is so bad is because educational institutions, they collect data like your name, date of birth, your SSN, fucking insurance provider, if anything. Like, they collect a lot of shit. Some institutions have, like, their own security system, or some institutions have utilized Canvas for it, but there's a lot of stuff in Canvas to enroll you as a student. So yeah, all this data is pretty fucking important. So the fact that it got hacked and there was ransom, which was eventually paid, right, was pretty big. And it kind of sucks. It kind of sucks the fact that there's a huge central point of failure within our education system, and B, that such sensitive data is stored on that central point of failure inside a private company, right? Even though Canvas is an open source piece of software, it's still, all of the universities just buy it from Instructure, which is the parent company, so it makes more sense. But yeah, that's the Canvas thing. Pretty simple hack, I mean, when you think about it, but it was pretty detrimental to everyone involved. It kind of sucked. Oh, man. Nevertheless, I mean, at this point, I think I'm just, chilling out for the most part. I mean, there's nothing really much else that I have on my mind at the moment. I'm not 100% sure. I mean, if I stream another day this week, I'll definitely play something on my Game Boy or my Switch or something. Let me know if you guys have any games in mind. I can play something on Steam, Game Boy, Switch. There's no, limit. It's just that, it's going to be a little hard to play PC games due to my current situation. But yeah. I mean, I think I should probably call it here just because, I am getting a little bit tired and my bedtime is coming up. I have to follow a really strict schedule to do well on these exams. But yeah. It was very nice hanging with y'all. I always appreciate everyone popping in, no matter who it is, right? It's always good to chat. It's always good to have a great conversation. Thank you, Min, if you're still here, for just chilling on the stream for a bit. Feel free to drop a follow if you're interested. But yeah. Yeah, of course, Toki. No problem, no problem. So, again, if you guys want my Discord, I cannot spell. There you go. You guys want my socials? They're all here. The other thing with me, what did I want to say, is that, yeah, after all of this crap is over, things are going to become way more consistent, and I'll be able to stream at consistent times in the week. I'm not going to have, probably might be streaming more, honestly, and probably just, rebranding everything, so just, keep an eye out for that. It might happen in the future. We'll see. But yeah, so let me find someone to raid. If you have any recommendations, please, by all means, just let me know. But let's see. There are a bunch of people online. There's Rixie. I've raided Rixie a good amount of times. I can raid this False Spring guy again. This person looks chill. Rixie, you want to raid Rixie? I mean, we could raid Rixie, sure. You're my boy. Alright, sounds good. Alright, guys, well, always appreciate it. It was very fun. I was gonna go there anyways. Sweet. Alright, cool. So, thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you either this weekend or some other time. Alright? I will jump you guys down to, again, check Discord. That's the best part, where you could find all of my stream announcements, timings, whatever. Just feel free to chat. My TikTok account and my YouTube have all stream clips. I'll be posting once a week due to my current schedule, but usually I post about 3-4 times a week. So yeah, if you guys are interested in that, feel free to check out the socials. But anyways, I'll see you guys next time. Bye!